Hello and welcome to today's presentation, Understanding Your Financial Aid, presented by UTSA's Financial Aid and Scholarships Office. Through today's presentation, we will go over understanding the estimated cost of attendance reported at UTSA and other institutions, discuss the general financial aid process, help you understand your award letter, talk about additional resources to help fund your education, and go over a few frequently asked questions about financial aid and scholarships here at UTSA. As you begin to research on how much it may cost to attend UTSA or other institutions, you will most likely come across the following information reported from the institution or the student's award letter. This information is referred to an estimated cost of attendance, or COA. The estimated COA is the institution's total estimated charges over a certain period of time. The information provided here is based on an undergraduate student who is a Texas resident attending full-time and living on campus with a meal plan for the 2023-2024 academic year. The charges reported on the COA can be broken down into two types, direct and indirect charges. Direct charges are items that you will pay directly to the institution and will appear on the student's actual bill owed, such as tuition and fees and on-campus housing charges. Indirect charges are items not included on the student's bill, but are additional items commonly associated with going to college, such as books and supplies and personal expenses. Again, the charges reported are only estimates and not a reflection of what is currently owed. This information can change based on a student's expected enrollment, housing, or other educational expenses. A student will receive their actual bill owed after attending orientation and registering for classes. If you are visiting UTSA from out of state or thinking about attending an out-of-state institution, understand that you will see higher COAs due to out-of-state tuition and fee charges. We recommend that you reach out to the institutions that you are applying to see what resources or opportunities are available to help reduce out-of-state tuition and fee charges. For example, at UTSA, if a student receives a $1,000 UTSA competitive scholarship, this will come with an out-of-state tuition and fee waiver for the academic year, allowing the student to be charged as an in-state resident. We will talk about how students can apply for UTSA scholarships later in this presentation. Now, when it comes to funding your education, understand that the Department of Education recognizes the student and their family as the primary source of funding. And although submitting a financial aid application like the FAFSA allows you access to traditional forms of aid, grants, work study, and federal student loans, we always encourage students to take advantage of as many resources as possible, such as external scholarships, waivers and exemptions, military benefits, and so on. So whether you plan on only using financial aid and scholarships or a combination of other forms of payments, following these four core principles can help you to remain financially successful throughout your academic journey. Apply early, be aware of deadlines, be aware of resources, and be aware of options. Applying for financial aid is going to be an annual process. You will need to submit a financial aid and scholarship applications each academic year you are seeking funding. The general financial aid process can be broken down into three simple steps. First, you will need to identify, complete, and submit the appropriate financial aid application, such as the FAFSA or TASFA. Second, after submitting your application, you will want to follow up with the institution you plan to attend to complete any additional action associated with your application. This is important as some institutions may not provide you with an award letter or disperse your financial aid until these actions are completed. Finally, you will receive an award offer to review. Now understand that financial aid is first come, first served, so it is important to take action as early as possible. Here are a couple of dates to remember. October 1st. This is the date that financial aid applications like the FAFSA or TASFA become available to complete. And like most institutions, UTSA will have a priority date of January 15th. Now, this is not the hard deadline to submit your application, but submitting your application on or before this date will provide the student access to the most financial aid and scholarship resources available. Now, we recommend that you set this on your phone and set a yearly reminder so that way you're always prepared to take action as early as possible. Although the priority date has passed for this coming academic year, it is not too late for students to submit their financial aid applications. Students are still eligible to receive financial aid after the priority date. They can still be reviewed and receive the federal Pell Grant if eligible. They can be reviewed for work study, and it can also open the door for additional scholarship opportunities. When a student submits their financial aid application, such as the FAFSA, they are reviewed for what I refer to as the traditional forms of financial aid: grants, work study, and federal student loans. Although I consider scholarships a traditional form of financial aid, scholarships applications are often separate from the FAFSA. Also, regardless of what you think your financial aid eligibility might be, some donors provide scholarships based on financial need information only reported from a financial aid application. Just another reason why we encourage all students to submit an application every year. Now, briefly going over the types of aid: grants funded at a federal, state, or institutional level are funds that do not have to be repaid as long as the student maintains the appropriate enrollment and academic requirements. Some grants, like the Texas grant, are renewable for subsequent years, again, as long as the enrollment and academic requirements are met. Work study are funds that students will work to earn. Students will indicate their interest through their financial aid application, and if awarded, students will need to go through the process of obtaining an on-campus position and will be paid directly via paycheck. Although students are limited to on-campus positions and capped at 19 hours per week, a major benefit is the amount reported earned from a work-study position on future financial aid applications will have no impact on future financial aid eligibility. Lastly, the FAFSA. Through the FAFSA, students are reviewed for federal student loans. The two student loans available for students are the direct subsidized and direct unsubsidized loans. The difference between these loans is that the subsidized loan does not accrue interest while the student is enrolled, and the unsubsidized loan will accrue interest through the lifetime of the loan. Please know that students are limited on the amount of federal loan funding they can receive based on their dependency and grade level status per academic year. If additional funding is needed, parents can apply for the Federal Parent Plus loan. This is a credit-based application and separate from the FAFSA. I'll provide additional information later in the presentation. And students can explore alternative loan options such as a private educational loan through a bank or other third-party loan lender. Now, when it comes to federal student loans, we recommend not making any formal decision until the student has registered for classes and has received their bill owed for the semester. This will allow the student to make a more informed decision on how much of a loan they need, or if a loan is needed at all, as well as explore other options. Compared to alternative loan options, federal loans are often at a lower rate and are preferable as you can track the overall lifetime eligibility through studentaid.gov, come with a repayment grace period of 6 months after graduation, and have flexible repayment options. After students have submitted their financial aid application and completed any follow-up action needed, students will then receive a financial aid award letter to review, similar to the example provided here. Now, we know that this is a lot of information on one page, so we want to highlight some important information as you might be comparing offers from other institutions. In this first section, students will be able to identify the type of awards offered, name of the offer, and the status of the pending award. Please keep in mind the total award is divided per semester within the academic year, unless notified by the award donor. Students will also be able to view how much of the award they will receive for each semester and the total amount awarded for the academic year. In the second section, students will see the expected family contribution, or EFC. The EFC is the calculation reported from the financial aid application and is only used to determine financial aid eligibility. The family is not expected to pay the amount reported. This section also contains information unique to the student's calculated estimated cost of attendance, enrollment status, housing, and so on. And lastly, the third section provides an estimated net balance based on the student's estimated COA, and financial aid offers. Again, the COA calculated is only an estimate and not a reflection of what the student currently owes to the institution. If the student has received the award letter via email and/or mail, they will need to visit their online student portal to formally accept the financial aid offer. Additionally, some offers require additional action to receive, such as federal loan counseling or specific documents. After accepting, students will need to complete these additional actions for disbursement of the awards. For additional funding opportunities, we recommend all incoming students visit the UTSA Scholarship Hub. The Scholarship Hub is a central location that houses a number of institutional, departmental, and external scholarship opportunities. The Scholarship Hub is also the location of our General Scholarship Application. The General Scholarship Application is a short application that, when completed, will auto-match the student to a number of scholarships based on the information they provide, as well as provide the student with a list of recommended scholarships based on their field of study, but require additional action. Now, the priority date for most of our institutional scholarships is January 15th. However, we recommend that students frequently visit our scholarship hub as we post new opportunities almost weekly. Beyond the listed options, Beyond the options listed through the UTSA Scholarship Hub, we recommend exploring as many external opportunities as possible. We like to encourage students to speak with their school counselors for local opportunities, get involved with clubs or organizations, and encourage parents to speak with their employers for some additional external opportunities. However, please be safe when applying for external opportunities. You never want to give out personal information, such as banking information or social security numbers, and you should never pay money to apply for a scholarship. Now that the student has applied and has been provided financial aid, how will the student receive their funds? First, students will need to make sure that they have formally accepted their financial aid offers through their student portal. Then, about a week prior to the first day of class for the fall and spring semesters, financial aid will disperse. When aid is dispersed, financial aid will be applied to the student's bill as a whole, first applying to tuition and fee charges, then on-campus housing and meal charges. If the student has any financial aid remaining after the balance has been paid in full, the student is then refunded the difference. They can use their refund to help pay for books, supplies, or other educational needs. Now, if the student's financial aid is not enough to cover the semester balance, payment arrangements can be made to secure the student's classes and allow for the additional time needed to gain additional funds. Information about payment arrangements can be found on the student's online portal or through fiscal service. Now, we know that financial aid applications utilize information dating 2 years back, and we know and understand that a lot can change within that time. If the financial information reported on the application does not accurately reflect the family's current financial situation, or if your family has experienced a financial hardship since submitting the application, please contact our office for further assistance. Based off the information provided, our office can potentially reevaluate the student's financial aid eligibility based on the financial changes that have happened, hopefully increasing the financial aid offers provided to the student. Now, UTSA also has a number of available resources to assist with students in saving money or even earning more money to help fund their education. First, students are not required to be awarded work study to work on campus. There are plenty of work study and non-work study positions available for students to apply for. The university also has food pantries on both the main and downtown campuses. There are no prerequisites. Students just need to show up with their student ID to receive a free bag of groceries that can potentially assist them with meals throughout the week or through the weekend, saving a little bit of money. Students who are veterans or military affiliated can connect with the Center for Military Affiliated Students, or CMAS. They will want to make sure you connect with CMAS to process any military benefits such as Hazelwood or the GI Bill. CMAS also has a number of emergency resources for military affiliated students if needed. For students who won't be bringing a vehicle and are worried about how to get around San Antonio, we've got you covered. UTSA has partnered with our VIA Metro Transit to create the VIA U-Pass. All the student has to do is download the VIA U-Pass mobile app, register with the student associated email address, and then they will have free access to the entire city bus system. So if they need to get from main campus to downtown, or if want to explore the city, they'll have access to the entire bus system. Also, the Financial Aid and Scholarship Office houses the Financial Success Team. This is a money management resource group that not only helps students apply for financial aid and scholarships, but provides basic financial literacy resources when it comes to budgeting your money, learning about investing, managing federal student loans, and much, much more. We highly recommend that you scan the QR code on the screen to visit the website, or you can email financial.success@utsa.edu for any additional questions. However, if you or the student has any additional questions regarding the admissions process or any next steps related to financial aid, please contact our one-stop enrollment center. You can send them an email or give them a phone call. They can look up the student's account and let you know what additional action is needed. Now, lastly, we do get some commonly asked questions about financial aid and scholarships, specifically here at UTSA, notably for the UTSA Bold Promise program. Now, if a student gets selected for the Bold Promise and they don't see this in an award letter, keep in mind that this is normal. Bold Promise is a program that guarantees that tuition and mandatory fees are covered with a combination of scholarship grants or tuition exemptions from federal, state, and institutional funds. So again, it's not going to be one single award posted on the award letter, but it's a program that utilizes a combination of awards to make sure that the student is covered. Now, if a student has accepted the financial aid award, that does not mean that they're committing to UTSA. Accepting financial aid awards simply secures financial aid for the upcoming academic year. If the student does plan on attending UTSA, they want to make sure that they sign up for orientation by logging into their ASAP student portal. Now, how can a parent apply for a Parent Plus loan? The Parent Plus loan is a credit-based federal loan that parents to dependent undergraduate students can borrow to help pay for their students' educational expenses. Again, if they would like to apply, they would visit studentaid.gov and then log in with the parent's FSC ID to begin the application. However, please keep in mind that the Parent Plus loan application for the upcoming 2023-2024 academic year will not open until May 1st of this year. Thank you, and please enjoy the rest of your evening.